maybe a nice thing to do. You may think your intentions are good, but it's still manipulation if you are like saying to yourself, well, if I do this, that, and this for her, then she'll fall in love with me. That's manipulation. That's you trying to do something to get her to fall in love with you. Why she doesn't want or need a white knight. Hi guys, my name is Christine. I'm a dating, relationship, and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about why she doesn't want or need a white knight. But before we get into this video, please leave a like on it and please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if there is anything you would like me to discuss in a future video, then please leave it down in the comments, or if you have any tips and advice yourself. Thank you so much. So a common misconception is trying to be the white knight for a girl that you like. It's something that happens a lot. It's something that I definitely went through when I was growing up, especially when I was a teenager. You know, I wanted to be the hero for all the girls that I really liked, to be able to save them and make their life better in some way. And obviously this kind of situation, this kind of mentality always made me come across as if I didn't respect myself, and it didn't make me look attractive. So unfortunately, being a white knight, trying to come across as the savior of the girls that you like, is not going to make them fall in love with you. Although this kind of thing is common in fairy tales, unfortunately in real life it doesn't work. So I'm going to go basically into a few reasons why, and some more common misconceptions about why, you know, sometimes we falsely believe like if we act and behave like a white knight, it's going to make the women that we like fall into our arms. But unfortunately this isn't the case, so let's go into my first point, which is white knights usually end up in friend zone. And the reason why they usually end up in friend zone is because they tend to put the women they like above everything else, and therefore the women don't respect them. And if a woman doesn't respect you, she's not going to fall in love with you. So it happens a lot. Sometimes people who have this white knight syndrome, and definitely lesbians have it too, because I definitely had this. And it's basically the belief like, oh, this girl needs me, I need to go and help her. You know, if she has something, you know, something wrong with her car, something's going on, she needs, you know, some kind of assistance, and you can kind of tell this, or you think she's in some kind of dire situation that you need to save her from. We kind of go into this white knight mode, and we want to try and save her from the situation, try and fix all of her problems. And, you know, it's the first thing that we want to do. You know, we will drop literally everything to go and be this white knight to this girl that we like. But unfortunately, this isn't a good way to get someone to fall in love with you. In fact, it kind of has the reverse effect, and it puts you into friend zone. So what's the remedy for this? It's having this attitude of, I'm only going to drop something for someone if, you know, this person actually deserves it. So if this is someone who's put you in friend zone already, and you're dropping literally everything to go and help her, then, you know, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve that kind of attention. You know, obviously if this is a girl that you're in a relationship with, or it's a girl who you're married to, is your wife, then obviously you'll probably do whatever you can to help her. But if this is someone you're not even dating, if this is someone who you're not even in a relationship with or married to, you shouldn't be going into this white knight saver mode. You shouldn't even really be doing that with your spouses and your girlfriends either. You should only do those kinds of things in really dire situations when they really, really need you, or if they've actually asked you to do it as a favor. But you shouldn't be, you know, going around all the time trying to be this white knight and fixing every little thing, every little inconvenience that they have. It's just not attractive. It really, really isn't. So what is attractive? So the kind of the best attitude that you got to have is, obviously you got to have your own life. You can't be willing to drop literally everything for these girls who want you to be their white knight, or you want to be a white knight for them. You can't do that. You can't be that way. So you must have your own things going on in your life. You must have your own, you know, purpose and mission that you're trying to accomplish. You know, have your own life, have your own goals that you're trying to achieve. You know, and if you can help them along the way with certain things, you know, and they deserve it, and that means they deserve it because they are actually romantically interested in you, and you are dating them and you're sleeping with them, you know, doing all the things basically that leads to a romance down the line, like a relationship or to a marriage. then obviously, that's okay. But it shouldn't be like your primary focus. It shouldn't be the thing that, you shouldn't be like waiting at the phone basically for her to call you up because she's got some kind of issue that you can solve for her. So if you're not, dating her, if you're not sleeping with her, if you're not having any kind of romance with her at all, then you shouldn't be, being that white knight. You should be, doing your own thing. And if she's like calling you up for all these silly things and telling you, oh, I've got a problem with my car, or I've got a problem with my computer, can you come and fix it? And it's not someone you're even dating, but it's someone you want to date, but she's basically put you in friend zone, then you should be just like, no, I've got stuff I need to do, bye. I'm not going to be just there at the drop of a hat each time you have a little issue, right? Because they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. And even if this is your girlfriend or your wife that is asking you to do something, obviously, unless it's a dire emergency, you should do it within your own time. You can be like, okay, yeah, well, I'll do it later tonight when I have more time, but at the moment I'm working on this. Or, fine, I'll do it tomorrow or something like that. You shouldn't be dropping literally everything to go and be that white knight and fix whatever her problem is. And that should, resolve the issue. That should be the cure for that kind of situation. But that just because you start respecting yourself more and respecting your time and what you're doing doesn't necessarily mean that girl's going to fall in love with you, especially if this isn't your girlfriend or your wife or someone that you're dating. If this is someone you've put in a friend zone, just because you started respecting yourself and not being her white knight, doesn't mean that she's automatically going to fall in love with you because you've started to respect yourself. She might respect you for, not dropping everything to be at her aid, but that doesn't mean that she's going to fall in love with you. But at least you've got her respect back. So another point that I want to make is most women don't actually want to be saved from their situation. Because let's say there's a girl in some kind of situation that you feel like you need to save her from. Perhaps she's got like a toxic ex-boyfriend or a toxic boyfriend who you think's not good enough for her, and you're going to try and save her from that situation. If she really, really wanted to get away, if she really wanted to save herself and get out of that situation, if it was uncomfortable enough, then she would be already doing that. And most of the time, even if you think that her ex-boyfriend's a jerk, or if her current boyfriend is a jerk and you need to try and save her from that situation, most of the time he probably isn't as bad as what you are making him out to be in your head. You probably just have this kind of like antagonizing kind of mental relationship with him because you feel like because you want to be with her, right? Because you want to be with her. So he might not actually be that much of a bad dude. Now, that doesn't mean that he isn't. I mean, he could very well be someone bad. But if she wants to get out of that situation, she would have done something about it. She would have tried to get away from him. She would have, done something. And, you shouldn't be messing with, even if she's in a toxic relationship, it's not your job to do that. It's not your job to try and save her from that. Because, who's to say that if you do get in a relationship with her, that your relationship's going to be perfect anyway. You don't know these things. If she's in that situation, you can't save everybody, right? And if it's a situation where you think she's really, really in danger, then it shouldn't be you that's trying to save her. It should be the police that's trying to save her. If you think she's in real danger, that's not your job. It's not your job to go around there, and, be the white knight. That's someone else's job. If she wanted, but like I said, if she wanted to be out of there, she probably would be out of there. And it's unfortunate because, some women do, stay in really toxic relationships for a long time. But again, it's not your job to do something. That's her problem. If she's attached herself to someone who is really bad, who you think is not good for her, then, that's her judgment. She still went into that relationship. And some people just don't want to be saved. You can advise her, you can give her advice on what she should be doing and, trying to basically lead the horse to water, but you can't make her drink, you can't make her leave. So it's best to just leave those kinds of women alone, especially if they're in relationships. You shouldn't really be messing with anybody who's in a relationship anyway. And if you think she's in any kind of real danger, then obviously you just need to call the authorities. And she might not even want to get out of that situation anyway. For some reason, she might, just want to stay there. And of course, it goes like the famous joke, which is, how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? Just one, but the light bulb has got to want to change. So another point that I want to make is she will probably be weirded out by your strong devotion, because sometimes when we have this kind of like white knight syndrome where we feel like we need to save the girl, we need to give this girl all of our devotion, girls know that they have flaws. Girls know that they are not perfect beings. So when someone comes along, let's say someone who has like white knight syndrome, and they're acting and behaving in a way that is showing to her that you think that she is this perfect goddess, princess being that's ever existed. She's the most flawless thing in the world. It's going to weird her out because she knows that she is just human. And women are human beings. They make, mistakes, many mistakes, just like everyone else on the planet. They're just exactly the same as you. They're just as flawed. They have just as many insecurities, just as many idiosyncrasies. They are flawed human beings. So if you're treating them like they are flawless, then they're going to get weirded out by it. So don't treat them like a princess. Don't treat them like a celebrity. Don't treat them as if they're like this perfect magical being that you are going to save, because they will feel weirded out by it. It may seem like the right thing to do. It may seem like the most romantic thing to do. It may seem like the most nice thing to do, but it's not the most authentic thing to do. And they'll be able to tell the inauthenticity of you being you're perfect when they know that they're not perfect. So my last point is, if you think she needs to be saved, if you think she needs to be saved from herself by some kind of other external situation, and you want to be the white knight, and you feel like there's a lot of issues in her life that you feel like you can solve, perhaps you don't want to be with this person, because obviously they have a lot of issues. They have a lot of things that need to be solved. So, maybe you want to find someone who is a bit more complete, who doesn't need someone who, has to be like the white knight and save them from a situation. I highly recommend that you go and watch this video on how to attract the right person, so you can find someone who already is whole and complete, that you don't need to change in some way, that you don't need to save from some kind of situation. That just leads to a more effortless relationship, because if this girl has a lot of problems, whether they are self-inflicted or inflicted by someone else, there's not really much you can do. There's not really a lot you can do for that kind of person. And again, she has to want to change. She has to want to get out of there in order to get out of there. And if she's still in there, she probably doesn't want to get out of there. And, there's not really much you can do. You need to just kind of leave those people be. And again, like I said, if there's something that really you feel like is really, really going wrong, then you need to tell the authorities to come and sort it out themselves. But you personally shouldn't be doing anything to try and save her from that situation. It's just not going to work out. And again, if you act and behave like a white knight, it's very unlikely that this girl is actually going to respect you and fall in love with you. And never kind of behave in this kind of white knight way in order to get someone to fall in love with you, because that's just a manipulation technique. It may be a nice thing to do. You may think your intentions are good, but it's still manipulation if you are like saying to yourself, well, if I do this, that, and this for her, then she'll fall in love with me. That's manipulation. That's you trying to do something to get her to fall in love with you. So the best technique, the best thing to do, if you are trying to attract someone, if you want to go on a date with someone, if you want to make a woman your girlfriend, then the best thing for you to do is that when you see her, ask her out on a date. And if she wants to go out with you, she'll say yes. And then you can date and court her for a few weeks. And then at some point, a few months down the line, you'll end up in a relationship. Don't go through the process of, oh, I need to do this, that, and that for her. Then I'll ask her out. I'll do all these things for her, kind of like checking off like a checklist on all the amazing things you're going to do for her. And then she'll fall in love with you and you can ask her out and then everything will be great. No, when you start having that attraction for her, ask her out then. Just ask her out as soon as you possibly can. Because if you wait around, you're going to end up in friend zone. You're probably going to fall into the white knight syndrome. And it's just not going to end very well, and you're just going to waste so much of your time on someone who may not even be interested in you. If you would like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. On the shop page of that website, you'll be able to find a free PDF download, which is a dating and relationship manual. If you do read that PDF, then please let me know if you have any critiques or anything you feel like I missed out, so I can make it the best product possible for those people that want it. Thank you so much, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye, guys.